Alright everyone, welcome to another thunderstorm update from Great Lakes Weather. The time is 3:49 p.m. and it is Labor Day. Happy Labor Day to you all. Tuesday evening is what we're going to be talking about today. There's a severe weather event that's going to be possible ahead of a very thin plume of warm moist air. And with some ample wind shear, that's going to bring all hazards on the table. So large hail, damaging winds, maybe even an isolated tornado here and there. But we're going to just be looking at models and taking a look at what potentially could occur in regards to severe weather and what different ingredients are going to come together to produce that type of weather. Inevitably, there's going to be thunderstorms tomorrow. I'm fairly certain of that across pretty much the entire state of Michigan. We're going to see some showers and thunderstorms. Northern Indiana and Ohio probably going to see some storms too. But they will gradually weaken as they progress into Ohio. And I'm going to show you the models that project that. But first, before we get to that, make sure if you're on desktop to scan that QR code and get connected with us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook too. Facebook's not on there, but we are back on Facebook after a short break from there. Or you can text any of the little codes that are on the right side of your screen to 81010 to receive weather alerts right to your phone. So make sure to get connected with that, especially if you live in Southwest Michigan, Northern Indiana, because you guys are pretty much under the gun for this severe weather event tomorrow. All right, let's just get right in on it. And hopefully you can see it now. But looking at this, this is the Storm Prediction Center's model, or basically the convective outlook for Tuesday. Day 2, day 1 would be today. Day 2 is the next day. So this is Tuesday. There's a slight risk for severe thunderstorms across the lower peninsula of Michigan. Eastern Illinois, Chicago is included in this. Northern Indiana, it actually was extended southwestward, which means there's a little bit of increasing confidence in severe weather. And it goes all the way down into the tip of Missouri, Indiana, northwest Ohio, under the gun for severe weather. Tornado risk is really low, but given the wind patterns that are going to be visible or existent, we're going to see probably some shear that's enough to produce some supercells that will produce damaging winds, most likely as the primary threat. 15% threat of wind, low chance of tornadoes, but that tornado risk does go across most of the southern peninsula of Michigan. So that's going to be an issue to pay attention to, I guess, but wind is really the big concern. Hail is low, but with supercells you could still have hail, but it's not looking very likely given the scenario that we have now. All right, so that is the current threat analysis. So it's just a slight risk area. Again, slight risk means they do think that there could be some severe storms, but the confidence is not very high in a widespread severe weather event. So it's just mainly severe storms, maybe here and there. A slight risk is definitely more considerable than a marginal risk. So it's something to take note of. Slight risks, they usually issue watches on in most cases. So that's why I'm putting a video out for it as well. All right, so we are going to go to the next model. You can probably hear my dog barking out the door. HRRR, we're actually not going to start with the HRR. We're going to go to the GFS. So this is at 1 p.m. on Tuesday. There's going to be, throughout the morning, there's going to be showers and thunderstorms moving across the upper peninsula. Likely not going to be severe until they reach across the lake. Really across the lake is when we're going to start seeing the severe weather. So this is the time where it starts. You're going to have some thunderstorms across St. Ignace, across Traverse City, Boyne Falls, areas like that. Moving southeastward. We're going to move this forward just a little bit. Maybe that's a little too far. Yeah, it's too far. We're going to back up. So they're just going to keep progressing southeastward and continue to develop as they get across the lake. So we'll have a pretty prominent line of strong thunderstorms. Dew points measure how much moisture can be put into the air. See, it's just a small plume of moist air associated with this. The moist air doesn't stick around for long. It gets a little humid later in the afternoon with the stronger storms hitting around the evening. This is at 7 p.m. So you have the moist air that's following along with this cold front. Temperatures will be a little bit warmer as well, right along. See how it changes slightly from red to pink along this little area here. It's not really going to be much of a buildup between the cool air that we're seeing today and the warm air that we're gonna be seeing tomorrow. And then right behind that, the air is just gonna cool down again. Look, you have temperatures in the 50s already by the time that cold front moves through in the Upper Peninsula later that afternoon. So it's not gonna last too long, and it's gonna be pretty quick. Let's take a look at the severe weather threat analysis. Wind shear is going to be decent enough to support the potential for some supercells. If I get a forecast sounding, gives us an idea of what severe hazard types we have. Marginal tornado risk, that seems fairly accurate, and they're just above the threshold for a classic supercell setup. So according to the GFS, there's definitely the setup for supercells. It'll show even more on this map. Got about a 4 or 5. So that's not super high for supercell risk, but it is a supercell risk nonetheless. So GFS putting out that, and all the models are really agreeing on widespread showers and thunderstorms at least tomorrow. So the GFS putting that out. HRR is putting that out too, and it's pretty much following along with GFS. So this is the HRR model. Gives a little more of an accurate depiction of where storms might hit. So I'm starting this again. This is at actually 11 a.m. I believe on Tuesday. So it's actually putting storms in this area of the Lower Peninsula of Michigan a little bit earlier than the other models. So 11 a.m. Some storms starting to develop, progressing it towards about, so this would be at 3 p.m. or about 3 p.m. You see storms starting to develop a more well-defined line ahead of the front. Dew points aren't even really that high across the southern peninsula of Michigan, according to the HRR, which is actually a little bit interesting. I want to progress it a little bit forward. Okay, so dew points tend to rise a little bit right behind and right along this cold front. So there's going to be there is moisture that's going to be fed into the system from the southwest, and that's what's really going to drive the intensity of these storms, along with the wind shear that's going to be behind it. So if I take a look at the bulk shear that we have with this system, shear's output is pretty high for the HRR model, and this is right where the front is, where this nice little curved line is ahead of the wind shear. So if I go back to the reflectivity here, so you got a nice line of storms. The sounding, we're going to look at the hazard type. Severe hazard, close to that classic supercell threshold based on the wind and height right here, close to that threshold here. So it's going to be a nice line of storms moving across, typical of what you'd see in the fall sometimes. I mean, I've seen these storms develop in September before, so normal. It's pretty normal to see something like this happen before the fall season hits. So that's what this model's putting out. I'm actually going to put it a little bit forward so you can see where it's going to hit in northern Indiana and northwestern Ohio as well. So it starts to weaken, and it's definitely going to be weakening, and it's pretty much going to die out as it approaches Cedarville. Not really much for them, maybe just some rain, maybe a little bit of wind too. It is going to be windy tomorrow, so the wind is going to be coming out of the south and southwest. So that's definitely going to contribute to the amount of moisture that builds ahead of this cold front. Not really intense as you get down into southern areas of our southern states. All right, we're going to move to the NAM. NAM is actually putting out a little bit more of an intense model. The activity that they're putting out is rather heavy, so it's a lot more heavy than the HR and GFS. So if that model is correct, it's going to be a little bit more of an intense day. This is about 11 a.m. again. Very well-defined line of strong thunderstorms right along that cold front. We're going to go to the bulk shear behind this. There's actually shear ahead and behind of this front, so that's going to make a bit of a difference. You can see where that cold front is, right where these little spots are, right along here. Supercell composite saying, okay, supercells are quite likely across southwest Michigan around this time. 13 in areas around Muskegon, so that's actually pretty decent. Let's go back to the reflectivity so you can see how this is going to progress southeastward. Alright, so this is at about 1 p.m. Storms are approaching, big rapids, and now they're starting to develop over the lake where that supercell composite's really saying some storms could develop. Let's go to the supercell composite again. It's actually putting out quite a bit higher levels than HRR or GFS, so very interesting day about to unfold. Looks like a very interesting day about to unfold if the NAM follows suit with the actual weather that takes place on the day. So dew points, moisture output is quite a bit higher than other models. This is a more worst case scenario model in regards to the severe weather event. Dew points in the 70s are just painful. We're going to have dew points in the 60s, which will make it humid. Definitely enough moisture buildup for storms to develop along that cold front. Now we're going to push it to about 8 p.m. Look at that. That is that's something you don't normally see. It's just such a well-defined line of storms like that. This is at 3 p.m. So 3 p.m. you've got this nice line of storms that's going to be moving in. Let's get a sounding of that. Marginal tornado risk if you go up farther north. A little bit of a greater tornado risk as you head up to the northeast. I'm going to be coaching a soccer game in Battle Creek, so I'll definitely be closer to that severe weather risk. So maybe I'll be able to see some storms during a soccer game. Hopefully it doesn't hit during that time. It should be later than that. So I'm going to go to about... So storms looks like they're going to be out of the area around 6 p.m. or southeast of Battle Creek in St. Joseph counties. This model is really putting out something rather significant. Supercell composite, much lower. That threat for supercells and severe weather really starts to dissipate as you get past the Michigan border on the eastern side. But areas such as northwestern Indiana are not going to be out of the woods because they still have that moisture up in that region up there. So storms will continue to progress. So timing of these storms really around 4 to 8 p.m. in southwest Michigan, and then I'd say 6 to 9 p.m., 6 to 10 p.m. across northern Indiana, northern Ohio. That's really what we're looking at in regards to severe weather. I'm going to try to keep you updated. I'm going to be pretty busy tomorrow. Tomorrow's the first day of school. I'm going to be teaching, so I'll send updates after I'm done with all of my things going on there. So just keep an eye out, and I will send updates as I try to get them. For now, thanks for watching. Make sure to share, inform your friends of the storms that are coming tomorrow, and hit us up with a comment if you have any questions. And I will see you either on a live stream tomorrow or something like that. We will see ya. I'm out.